Sorry, didn't have the volume on the TV turned down. Don't want to get any copyright infringements or anything, you know how it is. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. But anyway, greatest. Yeah, we lost our biggest game of the against. I would almost rather have gone into that game 0-11 and come 11 as go into it like we did at 11-0 and come out 11-1. Texas fan. I hate Texas fans with a passion because they are the most cocky, condescending SOBs I have unfortunate incident of being able to see on social media. So, but we're still in the college football playoffs. Our seating is just going to be different. We probably won't get a first, but I don't know. Maybe we will. Anyway, I got a great show for you lined up, though. Maybe that can make my spirits feel a little. I hear a lot of stuff about this particular spirit, and so this is my first time trying it, and I think you're going to like it. It is a budget-friendly spirit, to say the least. It is benchmark. This is the full proof. They have single barrel kind of stuff. Bourbons do. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon. It is 0.5 volume, so 125 proof. This is up there. This is not for the faint at heart. Now, you like, never heard of benchmark, or well, I've seen it, but I don't know anything about it. Never bought it. It's always kind of bottom shelf stuff. This is actually distilled, aged, and bottled by the Buffalo Trace. So good, because typically Buffalo Trace does not. They don't have a wide range of mash bills. 2 is what you see most often, and they don't even tell you exactly what that is. But anyway, I'm into for you, and so we're going to dive right on in because I'm already 2.5 minutes in. All right. Go ahead and glug. Glug, 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 glug. As it is inexpensive, they don't put a cork in it. You know, that's one of my things. I love corks. So, but anyway, this is a very beautiful spirit in the glass. It's got decent legs on it, about 10. But it looks all right. It is just a beautiful, deep amber, some golden highlights around the edges, rich, oily appearance. Pretty well. You probably can't see it, but you know, I can see it in there, so I'm sure you can probably see it too. So, and I don't know, looking at it, the legs probably a little thicker than what I was, you know. It's one of those things where you don't pay a whole lot for a spirit. You're not really expecting a whole lot, but you know, they're probably better than what I'm credit. A little bit thick, kind of slow moving, which is indicative of its high proof. And I am pairing that today with a House Classic Maduro Robusto on the Bourbon. It's got a little nose. Nosing it, you would not think it's 125 proof. Oh, all right. Back to this. No alcohol burn in the nose at all. None. I mean, none. This is an 80 proof. I mean, it's just smooth. I get it's like some rich caramel, a little bit of toasted oak in there, and a really nice waves of vanilla. Really kind of head to charge with maybe some hints of, like, I don't know, peanut brittle, and some dark berry notes, and maybe just a touch of like baking spices. Yeah, and I'm not picking up really much of any burn at all. Man, that is wonderful. We'll say after it sits in your mouth a moment, you realize it's 125 proof. Cold mouth, warm to say the least. But the entry when it first hits your palate, you get this like really nice bold note, caramel and vanilla and sweetness, and then that just immediate warmth. Kind of mid palate, you get some really nice notes of toasted oak. There's also some like peanuts. There's some good hints of molasses, that kind of darker, and also some of the like darker fruits like cherries and plums. The finish, long, warm, kind of spice forward. There's some peppercorns and maybe even some cinnamon there, and just this kind of lingering, like brown sugary goodness. It's a really good stick, and you would, other than when I let it set on my tongue for a few seconds, you would not pick up that it's 120 proof. You might get a little burn farther down in your throat, but your mouth will be like, I don't know what you're complaining about. It was fun. On. This is one that you probably see if you get any of the online catalogs. They all sell, which is this particular stick. It's a kind of a Colorado shade, just under medium brown. Not really a light brown like a Connecticut. A little bit than that. Slightly oily. Got a little bit of tooth on it. It's firm packed with minimal veining, and really none of the veining is pronounced on the leaf. Is visible but tight, and it has. Oh gosh, yeah. I'll let you look at that. Look at all those lines across there. It's got a on it. I ain't never even heard of that. But we'll just say triple. It's a triple. Although I could technically say there's probably 4, but anyway, let's go and cut. And let me test the nose out first before I cut it and do cold draw. I get some really good notes of cocoa and a really nice yard kind of note to it. Pick up sweet cedar and maybe a little bit of natural tobacco. Just kind of subtle sweetness, not from anything in particular. So let's go ahead and give it a cut. Cold draw. Don't ever do that when you're in the cigar shop. V-cut, my method of cutting. I just like it best. I used to punch all the time. I use my guillotine, but not very often. typically only on like torpedoes. It's got a pointed end on it. It's a little hard to. I mean, you can X cut it or V cut it. I mean, but you'd see half off. But I'm just not much of a guillotine kind of cutter. So All right. Sorry, I'm watching the highlight. They're updating the game around. On the cold draw, I get some really nice notes of some pretty heavy notes of hay in there, and there's kind of a touch of like a nutty, creamy. This is a really good cigar. You can typically buy them in the Fumas for the bundle of 20 or 20 for less than $50. Doesn't come in a box; it just comes in a bundle. But so anyway. I mean, I've never complained about houses. Sorry, I'm staying kind of addicted. A lot going on today, so just the way it is. This is rivalry. So, all right, let's go ahead and fire this up and try these together. Doing pretty good. 12 minutes. Getting there. Looks like I did a pretty decent job. That one. You may have noticed it was putting off copious amounts of smoke. It's got a nice creamy smoke to it. It's got a really good mouthfeel. There's of bread and a little bit of earth and some sweet cedar. It's a good cigar. I mean, you buy a bunch of these for $50, you're doing really good at loading up your humidor. I'm telling you. And they make them. They've got, I think, 3 different blends. So love that. To me, that's a really nice heavy smoke. It's really cool. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just in my mouth until the very last moment before the spirit touches my tongue. Way I can least amount of time between the two, kind of give you the pairings. I think I say that every week. Everybody's probably already heard it. Anyway, the kind of the natural, like subtle sweetness, stick really plays well with the bourbon's kind of caramely note. The bourbon's got this rich caramel flavor to it, and the oak immediately pairs in together, meshes well together with the Brickhouse's and kind of bread notes. The cigar's sweet and kind of creaminess softens the bourbon's kind of high proof. That was one thing I did worry about with this high of proof. It's easy for it to overpower the cigar, but this cigar well keeping up with it. Meshing together very well. None. I do have one complaint. To do with I bought this little cheap ass little torch, grocery store up at the front. So I'm ready to check out. I'm like, oh yeah, I need like a little single flame because I can never remember my little single flame torch with me from my office. I've only used like 3. You can, you get you the side. You can see the side it. Got plenty in it. Doesn't work. Don't know. I just have to try and remember to bring my Cigarism single torch. That's Cigarism torch is a. You should go to my Amazon store, Sticks-n-Stonez, Sticks Stone. And there's a cigar and pipe accessories in there, and got quite a few of cigar listed in there. They make some really great cigar accessories. I've got their closed travel humidor. It'll hold 5 cigars. Got a place for your whatever type of humidification is in there. Place for your cutter and your lighter, and then I've got the little 2-piece metal stand that creates an X to cigar on. And anytime I head down to the Sticks-n-Stonez Southern Command, the no that's I always take that with me. Lots of smoke off this stick. I love that. It's real smoke. And so far, some really nice stacks of ash there. Call it a natural burn. Got a little bit of wave to it, but overall fairly straight. So, had a complaint about any of the Brickhouse that I've smoked. And am very impressed with how smooth the benchmark full is. Very impressed. Usually, once you get up to that range, 120 proof, you're starting to push up to the limits of like Everclear, which I think is like 150. Been years considered consuming Everclear. I have had Bacardi 151 over the last few years of it. Generally, somebody will talk me into a shot, or I'll talk somebody into a shot. I've got a bottle of it. But yeah, that's some stout stuff right there. I put hair on your chest. That'll hit the spot and rub it out. Four seconds into the fourth quarter, and Ohio State's up 17-9. Really open mid out. I'd like to see at least one of the other 2 teams that are undefeated in the top 10 have a loss. That might help us with having a bye week in the. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend jumping into something like 120 bourbon to a newbie, but it's actually probably smooth enough that you could do it. You know, you wouldn't want to do much of it, but you could do. I'll tell you a little bit about this because I really didn't I knew I was going to pair this, but Thanksgiving week, and I just didn't have time to read the backstory. But Benchmark, like I said, it's aged and bottled by Buffalo Trace. But the story that is the three McAfee brothers, James, George, and Robert, left Virginia to go west. Is Kentucky. Traveling by canoe at first, the McAfee trio eventually trail overland to the Great Buffalo Crossing, where the brothers surveyed the land to the award-winning distillery, Buffalo Trace. The surveyor marks known as the benchmarks, and this Kentucky straight whiskey honors the pioneering spirit. Those markets. There you go. So now you know. It's very interesting. And I mean, it is, you can trace this last weekend for $24.99 at one of the packaged free. And that's about what this was. Is it the base Buffalo Trace? It's probably equivalent. But base Buffalo Trace is not 125 proof either. So got a little Peyronie's disease going on there. So it'll probably have to be tapped off here. I'll have to tap that ash. Yeah, the game last night was extremely sad. I was very disappointed. Actually, watching in the first half, and I'm like, I'm just not. Team is not crisp like they have been over the last few weeks. And I mean, I just even talking about, Marcel Reed, his pass as accurate, and it just didn't look like the team was. It's like they got in the shakes, and so I was hoping that about we were down 10-7, something like that. That because we led. We led through most of the first half. We scored first, if I remember right. But I'm like, hey, it's a close game. Out and they'll be a little more locked in the second half. No, they weren't. I actually saw on one of the Aggie Facebook pages, like this team looks like these of last year or the year before that. They just did not have the same zip that had last weekend, 2 weeks before that, knock that off. And it's sad because I would have liked to have played for the SEC championship, and it's probably going to somewhere in the CFP, but it's all on us. We still have our season is still in our. Just keep playing. Could we win a national championship? Yeah, could. But after watching last night's rather lackluster performance, yeah, I don't know. We have the tools. We have a good quarterback who can both throw good passes, run. We have a decent core of running backs. I don't think they ran Owens last night. he was able, every time he would touch the ball, he would get 4 or 5 yards. Then they would have, one of the running backs that have moved up into the collectively into the RB2 slot. They get stuck at the line of scrimmage. You got to keep going with what works. Of course, Mario Craver, KC Concepcion. They made some really spectacular catches last night, but there wasn't any there were just no huge plays. And on defense, the defense has been our super major strength over the last season. And Cassius Howell, I don't think he got a single sack last night. They let Arch Manning escape the pocket several times and run for like 25 yards, 30 yards. And then he broke out once and started running. And one of the defensive backs left his man and started running to Arch. And before Arch crossed the line of scrimmage, he threw a pass to that guy for a touchdown. Wingo. Yeah, I don't know. They did not look super motivated last night. And I don't know what's going on with Le'Veon Moss. They claim an ankle injury or a foot injury, but there's no to what that injury is or how long he's going to be out. They just keep saying, we expect him back in a few weeks. Okay. Down to there's only a few weeks left. You didn't have him last night, which would have put us in the championship. So when's he going to be back? Is he going to be back? That's the one real big complaint I have this season is I don't know what's wrong with him. They are not very transparent. I think we're getting close to the halfway mark. I can go ahead and give you a little bit of an update here. So far, the have been going very, very well together. The strength and the body of the cigar has kind of increased a little. It's got notes of cocoa, and then there's some pepper in there. The kind of nuttiness comes forward. But there's also a slight minerally note. It has added depth, but it hasn't been harsh or bitter. And I they're really kind of hitting their stride here at the halfway mark. The bourbon's nutty with the cigars, cocoa, and peanut notes, just very, very well. I'm pretty impressed. Like I said, I wasn't really sure what to expect. The benchmark, Yeah. They're cloudy, cool day here in North Texas. We're at about 57 degrees. I'm watching Michigan, Ohio State, and it's snowing, so it could be worse. If it was snowing here, we'd probably be skipping this week. A 30 or 60 second. Here's a quickie. Sometimes you just need a quick, Dude, got a receiver out there in the middle of the field, wide open, nobody within 7 yards of him. Coach for Michigan is 3-0 versus Ohio State. Oh my God. That punt didn't go but about 11 yards. Sorry, I got to have another little sip of the college football playoff is, I like it. I've been advocating for a playoff since the late 1990s, early 2000s. Took this is how hyped I was about it long before it ever came to. I took every single bowl game one year and I put it in an Excel spreadsheet and I laid it out in football where the final like 5 games or half a dozen bowls, whatever, they would rotate around, and so that each one of those was going to be the national championship game at particular stadium. And also took the payouts from all of those and said, right, if a college goes to a bowl game, they get X amount of money, and that's it. Go play championship. But this had like 4 or 5 layers of games, kind of like the the basketball NCAA tournament. And so you ended up playing for like 5 or 6 weeks, and every time you played, you got a payout. So the teams that lost in the first round only got 1 payout, but the teams that lost the second round, I thought it worked out really well, and it would extend the season into like January. But didn't extend. It just meant you were playing, and straight up, you were playing like an month or so. So, but I'm all for the playoff thing. I like that. About it, I don't know. At this point, I do kind of like the 12-team thing, and I do think that it does at least give the opportunity for some teams that would never even a national championship to at least play in a playoff. They were back until Tulane. Memphis was going to be like the number 12 team. Memphis, they'd never have a chance to national. But in the playoff format, it's up to them. They could do it, And I think that's a good thing. Now it's Tulane or Navy. I think it's going to come down to those, something like that. I don't know. What do you hate? There's nothing that cleanses your soul like getting the hell kicked out of you. I can certainly agree with that. Snow's getting harder in Michigan. Damn. Starting to collect on the ground. Like stuff. You need those like big, fluffy flakes that accumulate quick. I've got some good pairings in the works coming up. You want to know what's on the horizon? I got real different promos in some of their like 10th year, 20th year, that kind of thing, anniversary editions. And so I'm really looking forward to that. I've got a couple of more kinds of cigars coming in. So there's going to be some good things coming up on the horizon here if we can just keep it at 50. Start getting into the 30s and 40s, then I start losing my interest in sitting out here on the no shoes real pack. So I guess I could do one of those things. I'd be like, all right, well, I smoked this yesterday. So now my off. because then you could go smoke at the cigar shop. And I tried doing, one of the local cigar shops, but it just didn't work out really well. And that was back when I was actually recording episodes, not just doing live streams. I just recorded, and then I could go and do my editing and all that kind of stuff. But it's taking time. I finally decided, well, there are things that you can screw up when you're doing a live stream that you just don't have any control over. So, hey, more than one, a few times I've gotten out here and gotten eyes. I didn't bring my Glencairn out with me, and so I was like, hold on, I wish a little bomb back in the old days when I was a kid, and television stopped at like 12:30 at night. You got the yeah, or like the Star Spangled Banner, they would have the American flag waving, and they played the Star Spangled Banner, and then the bars on the screen, and I could run inside and get the glass and come back out. So it's funny. Actually, better because it's funnier. It is. I don't know how many times ashes dropped in my lap. I'm here. I can't edit that out. So, and then something happened here a few weeks. It was, I don't know, several minutes in, and I finally just had to I may not have been, maybe a couple of minutes. I couldn't get it to come up on the camera, so I wasn't sure if I was broadcasting or not. So I had to start over. Sorry, piece of tobacco on my tongue. I'll tell you, in the last half, this cigar is really starting to ramp up its strength, and it's really keeping up with the benchmark now. And oddly enough, that was a couple of ounces I poured in there, and I'm okay. No, sun may actually peek through the clouds before long. I can say that I am feeling better than I was when I started. Last night, that was a terrible night. And then I had to wake up this morning. All right. This is one thing that makes it so difficult. I'm born in Texas, but I've been here for like 20 years. And my mom always told me, she's like, you've been saying live in little. And I said, yeah. I said, I got there as quick as I could. But I don't know of any in-state already. I mean, Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State, but like Arkansas, next biggest college is Arkansas State, and they rarely ever play each other. Can't really any in-state rivalries that are as bitter as A&M Texas. That's what I mean. I mean, there's going to be some stiff rivalries and stuff. There may be cross-border rivalries, Ohio State, Michigan. I mean, it's like one of those things where you wouldn't piss on the other team's fan if they were on fire. Hate each other. Oh, and so first thing this morning, I should have known. But I opened up Facebook. I'm scrolling, and sure enough, here's people posting these memes about how Big Brother had to slap Little Brother A&M around and show them that they weren't the number team in the country. And I get tired of it. I'm like, you're going to win with some dignity and grace. Act like you've been there before. Otherwise, what's the old saying? You can trailer, but you can't take the trailer out of the white trash. That's kind of how you come off. So I guess we can go ahead and broadcast this to hey, Texas fans, you need to watch this guy. He's going to about you. And I'm going to pour just a little bit more benchmark foolproof here just to keep it going. Oh yeah, I was the big dog. You can probably hear her barking in the background. Sadie, y'all know her, the Shetland pony. 25 pounds of silver lab. She's almost like a service dog. And even my wife, we were sitting in the living room watching the game, and she's like, "What is wrong with her?" And she doesn't like it when I'm excited. Whether it's I'm excited we scored a touchdown, or I'm excited because the other team scored a touchdown. Anytime I'm excited, she doesn't like it. And so it's late in the third quarter, and my wife had gone to the bathroom and come back out, and they had hopped up on the bed, and she came out, and of course our little rescue Desi, he came back in there. I didn't really pay attention. Then I was just like, gosh, I can't watch this shit anymore. And so I got up and went in the bedroom. Sadie's still in the bed, on the bed. Boom. Yeah. She can sense. I don't even have to say anything. She can sense. I'm not. But she does. Anytime she thinks I'm agitated, she'll come and put her chin on my thigh and want me to pet on her. She'd hop up in my lap and lay down while I'm trying to watch the game. But then she senses that I'm excited, whether it's good or bad, and she wants to get up and turn around, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, lay down, lay down, lay down, lay down. And but it's sweet though. I mean, she does. She is very in tune emotional state. So to accumulate fast on the field there in Michigan. Dude, it's now 2019, and things are not looking good for Michigan. I'll tell you this, all right? If you love a team and they play each other, tell me to root for the team you hate. I guarantee you they'll lose. Always, what's the old, most of you younger folks won't even know what it is, but, I only had 3 channels growing up, and Hee Haw was on one of them on Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening about 7. And they had this little song that they did every week. The 2 guys, they like gloom, despair, and agony on me. And then part of it says, if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. It's pretty much me. I spent all of my luck on Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez. It was worth it. They say in the like, you got to be in it to win it. And I'm like, it don't matter if I'm in it or not. I ain't winning it. Now, something that's got to be paid. Oh, I'm a winner there. Yeah, I got to pay. But oh, hold up here. Looks like little people started this episode. Thank you very much. It also says I have a comment. I can't see. Not surprised. You know how I am with technology. Where are we at? 44. Man, I'm doing good today. I'm normally like pressed for time. I don't like going over. And so normally it hits about 55, 56. We're almost done, and we're only at 44. I don't know what working out. I hope nobody's trying to break in. Been watching the news. Well, not watching the news because the news about it. And I was looking at something just before I came out here, and it was I can't remember what city now. It was like a full riot at the gate of an ice facility. And I mean, things are getting rough. The two National Guardsmen that were shot, and one of them died. That girl was 20, serving her country. You know, it's just it's pathetic. I mean, and the guy that shot him, imagine he's an Afghan refugee that came here seeking asylum. I'm not down with all that. If you want to come here, you want to assimilate into the society. You don't want to try and force your beliefs onto us and the shithole you just left. That's fine. But if you want to come here and you want us forced to believe what you believe, no. Back over the pond for you. Get the fuck out. Sorry. Immigrating to America, yeah, is not a privilege. I mean, it's not a right. It's a privilege. But do come, you talk to the Mexican immigrants and South American immigrants that come here and they do it the right way. People wading across the Rio Grande. They're like, send them back. They're like, I don't care. I did it the right way. They can do it the right way. Yeah. So you got one else. The system needs to be fixed. Well, that doesn't mean we just let everybody come in. All right. I'm like, common sense kind of thing. If you have a leak in a house, you're leaking somewhere, toilet leaking, sink leaking, whatever it is. What do you do first? I'll wait. Turn the water off, right? To stop. And then what do? Fix the leak. You don't fix the leak while the water is just spewing. No, water off first. Same thing. Stop illegal, and then fix the system. I try not to get political, but anyway. I have just really enjoyed this cigar. The copious amounts of smoke that it puts out. It's great. If you are the person that commented, I don't care if you said anything that was very or very derogatory. Thank you. I love comments. Leave a comment. And like I said, I don't care. You can say, "Oh, you're an asshole. You're a dumbass. You whatever. You're you school instead of Big Brother school with Texas and Texas A&M. Whatever. I don't care." And we got nearly 24 people on. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. I do not know what Sadie is after in there, but she is about something. I will also the other benchmarks. It comes in foolproof, small batch, single barrel base. It's really good for an inexpensive bourbon. Front low tray, really good. I really enjoyed it. It is a little, but overall, spirit for less than $25. I think I'm gonna have to go to the liquor store today. I saw things that told. Yeah, I'd really like to have that. I get the emails talking about some great whiskeys for under $50. There was a couple of scotches on there. I'm like, I'd really like to try that. Some of them is like, I've been wanting to try that for a while. Well, we're almost at the end here. I'll go ahead and close this out because I know you all, this is a huge. We still got rivalry games going on. Got Black Friday shopping to do over the weekend. Here in the last half, the profile of the cigar, it's deepened into oak and espresso and dark chocolate. Pepper has kind of ramped up, kind of matching the bourbon's warmth. Finish beautifully, I mean, beautifully. The bourbon's spice and ours pepper in the last half really went together wonderfully. The like plums and cherries and stuff like that, and the darker fruit. The last really married well with the espresso and the chocolate in the cigar. Overall, this is it's a robust, full flavored pairing, no doubt. For enthusiasts that appreciate intensity edges. Benchmark foolproof. I think I kind of pronounced foolproof. Amplifies the cigar's deeper flavor. While the Brickhouse Classic kind of rounds the bourbon's heat and smoother and gives it a nice kind of, I don't know, earthy sweetness. I would say this is probably anyone. This is really good. The Brickhouse is a very budget-friendly cigar, especially if you're buying food. The bundles of, I see either 20 or 25. I can't remember which. I see them at the Cigar National down in the Colony, right down the road. And the benchmark was like 25, $24.95 for 125 proof spirit. Not bad. Not bad at all. Muscular and satisfying pairing. That's for sure. It delivers warmth and richness. Great on this day that it's in like the upper 50s. And it's really kind of a classic bourbon, but it has really met the Nicaraguan harmony. Ideal for like, cool afternoons or evenings where you can just sit and contemplate on all the flavors that you're these two offerings. And it's definitely something that you could share. I could imagine like, hey, I've got this cigar and spirit that you need to try. Go ahead and fire. I'll pour you a glass of this benchmark foolproof. That would be hilarious. I need to do that. Still got a houses in the old Humie, even though my Humie's getting pretty full. 50 cigars and it's bursting at the seams. I'm in there digging through it like, what can I go ahead and get? I need more space because I've been ordering Arturo. I've got some more Don Carlos's in. I've got some Diamond Heads. Diamond Heads. That's a place in Hawaii. Julius Caesar. I've got 5 packs. Box. Olive Serie V Maduros. Shit. And the foolproof's starting to get to me. I've got 2.5 of my favorite cigar, which has become the Macanudo Orange Label. It is a great cigar. It really is. It's a lighter cigar. It's perfect. It's great. I hope you enjoy as much it to you. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, ring all the bells, blow all the whistles, blow everything. She said, uh, tell your friends. Definitely tell your friends. I got 24. I had over 24 people on. I have to go back and watch this over because it was really good. The ending, 10 or 15 minutes, probably the best of all. But, the first part of it was really good. Not quite as many. I have had at least one episode where I've got more people than it, but just one. So I'm doing really well. But definitely share the shit. Go to the Sticks-n-Stonez store on Amazon. -N-Stones. STONEZ. And not only these episodes for free, you can go back and listen to the episodes on the Amazon for free, no cost. And you can also find some really great shirts like this one. Got the American flag, got Sticks-n-Stonez. I'm not going to stand up, but anyway, on the back, it's got the Desert Camo Soldier. Looks a lot with his helmet, face mask, or bandana, goggles. Got his M4 at the ready. And Isaiah 8. Above it says, "And the Lord said, whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And at the bottom it says, "Here, send me." It makes great Christmas gifts. You can get it in gray, light blue, pink, purple. You can get it for anybody in the family. Something. Yes. And I would love to see you post pictures of your wearing the shirt, your whole family wearing the shirt. That would the shit. I would love it. I would love to see like a whole family of like 12 people in a picture, all of them wearing the same shirt. That would tickle me pink, completely pink. Yeah. And if you sent it to me and told me who you were, I would talk about you on the next episode. Deal. Also, there's more, as if there wasn't enough. Published my first real book. First real book was on the life and times of General Stonewall Jackson. It's say from like the 10 to 18-year-old, more like school age, because there's a lot of stuff in there that you don't learn anymore. And it's really great. You should go check it out. Again, Sticks-n-Stonez, right? All right. Until we get to be together next time, keep your sticks dry. Your goals.